Hi everyone, it's Amy. If you've been a fan of Little Miss Recap or have listened to us for a while, you might be like, where the heck have the true crime documentaries gone? Because you know we love doing them. Well, I've moved them to their own feed. So Murder She Watched is my new murder show documentary podcast. I launched it a few months ago, I think in June. Yeah, sounds about right. And we do a murder doc every week, sometimes every 2 weeks, depending. So if you liked documentary coverage here on Little Miss Recap, we will still continue to do cult stuff here, but all the true crime stuff is gone to Murder She Watched. We have a very robust back catalog that you can jump into today if you want to go over there. There is a Patreon, but we have a ton of stuff on the free feed. So it's Murder She Watched on any podcast app, or you can go to murdershewatchedpod.com. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I was joined by Wah from DocuSweeties, who we all know and love. I've had on this show many times. She joined me to talk about Hulu's Stalking Samantha, which was a riveting documentary. Highly recommend. Thank you guys. Thank you for your continued and constant support. And I hope you enjoy this episode. Murder She Watched contains adult themes and adult language. Listener discretion is advised. Murder She Watched is for entertainment purposes only. Hi everyone, welcome to Murder She Watched, the podcast where we solve crimes and murders from our couch. My name is Amy Archer. I'm your host today, and I am here with the lovely Wah. You may know her from DocuSweeties, and you may also know her from her YouTube channel, Just Call Me Wah, which we all love and enjoy. Hello, welcome.
Hello. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to be here. I want to solve mysteries from my couch day.
Yeah, that's all I want to do. I don't want to get near the crime. I don't want to be in danger in any way. I don't want to be in harm's way. I don't want to do any hard work. I just want to make judgments.
Okay.
From the comfort of my couch.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of making judgments, have you seen Unknown Number?
Girl, we covered it.
Oh.
It was amazing.
Great.
It was.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on just the balls on this woman to appear in the documentary?
I loved that for us. So
I loved it for us.
Thank you, Kendra Lakari, for showing up and giving the people what they wanted.
Oh my God. When she's sitting there and she's like, I don't know. We didn't know what to do. I went to the school. I felt like they didn't do enough. I was like, because when you watch it a second time through the lens of knowing what happened, wow.
Yep. And I did. I watched it a second time and I was like, oh my gosh, this woman is sitting here. I'm like, what's the timeline? Like, what are they asking her? Because then I noticed that they put her in certain points. Like she wasn't in it the way that Jill was.
Correct.
Jill and Owen really kept the story going. And Lauren kind of did, but it was like really Jen and Owen who was telling the story. And then the I don't know if they're the Millers or the Wilsons. Them two, the parents of Chloe.
Oh, the Chloe's parents. Yeah, Chloe Wilson, I think her name is. Yeah, I think it's Wilson.
Oh gosh, let me.
Well, they're the parents who march into a principal's office and say, "Not my daughter.
Yeah,
my daughter's done nothing wrong."
Yeah,
and I've learned as a parent, don't ever say that.
Yeah, because they will let you down.
Guess what? They're gonna like whip out evidence, and you're gonna be like, "Oh."
They did it. Yeah, no, I love it when they're like, Adriana said that we threw carrots at her.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was like, bitches, you threw them carrots at her, and you also threw celery. I know a mean girl group when I see one, and her parents allow her to throw a Halloween party every year. Oh,
yeah.
You can't tell Chloe shit.
And
Sorry, can I cuss on this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The minute they said in the beginning, like, this is the kind of town where the parents are way too involved in our lives, I was like, one of the parents is doing this. I just knew it. I just knew it. It was so wild.
Yeah.
So today we have another. Well, that was Netflix. This is a Hulu doc. This is Stalking Samantha. It's new. It was just on Hulu. I think it was released like a month ago. It's called Stalking Samantha, 13 Years of Terror. Wow, what are your overall thoughts of this documentary? 3 episodes, of course.
My overall thought is that this could have been a really good hour and a half, 2 hour documentary.
Thank you. Yes.
It did not need to be a series. And then the next overarching thought is, if we're going to talk about how many times the courts mess up and do not protect the victims, let's do a broader, let's get like 3 stories in here of the 3 times you guys found this case, because there were several points during this where I hate to say it, then I was like, girl, if you don't get a cousin to beat that man up, just give him a good punch in the face. You don't got no family? Get somebody to knock him out.
I thought Patrick was going to knock him out.
Yeah.
I'm like, is Patrick in love with her? Because he was really angry about all of this.
Yes. And it feels like hindsight anger. It was hindsight anger. I don't know how he was in the midst of it, but I really felt that Patrick, if he was down for that, he should have there should have been a fisticuffs with Chris.
This was, I mean, so I have twin daughters. They're going to be 19 in a couple months. I messaged both of them and I said, you both need to watch this documentary because so many times, and we'll talk about it, as women, we are polite in situations that are actually dangerous because we don't want to hurt a man's feelings. And I know that my girls have that in them too. You know, I've seen it. And I'm like, you need to watch this because you need to understand what stalking looks like and how to, I mean, not that boundaries ever would have stopped this guy, but just to recognize when it's gone beyond something. Like, I don't know about you, but the minute Bible verses started getting in the text, I was like,
At first, I thought it was LDS situation because I feel like that is not only a religion, it's also culture within that community of women staying sweet and being silent. Yep. So I was like, okay, this is indicative of a larger cultural thing that's going on in a community that she belongs to. But then when she was talking about drinking with her friends, I was like, maybe it is an LDS.
Yeah, and then they're going to a gay bar, and I'm like, no, this is not LDS.
Yeah,
no.
It's like, maybe it's not LDS, but like definitely there were, I mean, hindsight obviously is 2020, but I do think that there were some points where it was less than hindsight, and it was just that like be nice type thing. And I don't know if it was because she had lost the women in her life. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I do know that whatever town they are in, it's good to be poor there. Like, I need to move there because that's
where we all need to live.
That's where I'll thrive.
Okay, so let's start with the recap. In March 2014, Samantha, I think her name is Stites. I think that's how they say it. She's like 20, 21. She's working on campus. She's in her last year of school. She's doing an internship. She's busy. And this fool shows up, ding, 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 knocking on the door with flowers. He's like, I heard your grandmother died. I want to give you flowers. And she's irate. She's like, I told you I want nothing to do with you. And I'm like, wow, it seems like she's pretty, like, boundaried right up front. But we learned that this goes back a lot further, and we will go there. So she leaves. He approaches her again. She snaps at him. I told you I didn't want to talk to you. I didn't want to date you. I didn't want to see you. I've blocked you on everything. And she says, this is the first time I actually felt like he did not care about what I was saying and what my boundaries were. And that had to have been terrifying.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So when we first see Christopher, like, he's older, he's shy, and she was nice to him. And that's how it started. And he's sending her text messages that are deeply religious. Nope. Pro tip. If somebody's texting you, telling you God says we should be together.
Yeah.
No.
Run.
It's not good. Unless you're into it too. Unless you're getting the same holy message.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a level of delusion that's going on when you know you are not participating in a conversation with somebody who's fully participating in a conversation with you. Yeah. And God.
Yeah, it's terrifying. So in April 2014, she graduates. She goes back to Elk Rapids. That's where it is. Where everybody can be poor there and it's fun.
Yeah. Michigan? Sounds like Michigan.
Yep. It's a very small town. She says she felt like she was leaving Christopher behind. She was, she was happy. She was raised by a single mom, didn't have a ton of money. She was kind of really independent. Like, she didn't have a lot of family support. And that was something I felt really kind of, you sensed it in this documentary that she didn't have a lot of. Her mother died, her grandmother died, her father left, and I think she was an only child.
Yeah. And I think that definitely played a part into her being alone a lot. I mean, not that she was, but I mean, the idea, isolated, I guess that's what I want to say, not alone.
Yes.
Isolation, where she doesn't see the holistic picture. Because let me tell you, there'll be people in my family that's like,
yeah, my sister would have been all over this.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There needs to be somebody outside of you kind of checking your life to be able to pinpoint things. Because sometimes when you're in the sauce, you can't see it.
Yeah. So she applies to this ministry internship in Kansas City. She gets accepted. And then in September, right before she's ready to go, she's driving around with this guy, Craig, who's like a dad figure. He's a dad of one of her friends. He's known her whole life. He's driving her around, doing errands, whatever. And they see Christopher. Now, he doesn't even live in this town. Yeah. And he's there and he's on his little red motorcycle. And she's like, this isn't even my car. Yeah. Like, how did he know me? And she confronts him and he tells her, oh, I got accepted into the same ministry internship or whatever. Can you give me a ride there?
Yeah.
Wow. Delusional.
Wild. That is delusional. And so, yeah, Craig definitely felt some way about it. And again, didn't punch him in the face.
No, he was like, I wanted to get out of the car, but she stopped me. No, Craig, just get out of the car. Get out of the car. Yep.
Craig, get out of the car and run up on Chris.
Although at some point she does say that he told her that he just saw red and beat the shit out of somebody. So I'm wondering if she's nervous people are going to get beat up or beat down or murdered if they try to attack him. I don't know.
You're right. I know
she's afraid she will get hurt if she does something.
Yes, and that's a fair call out. However, I think, again, it goes to that nice culture, whatever culture that is like, you got to be nice. I think that, like, I'm from a different a cloth where you don't got to be nice to no one, especially a man.
Well, I will tell you that growing up, not even growing up, because this didn't start maybe till I was in my like later teens, but as a woman of size, I certainly learned to minimize my voice and to be nice. 100%. Okay. So I do think, and you know, maybe it's a Midwest thing too. They're in the Midwest.
Yeah. I think that's a good,
And she grew up in a small town. Like she says, we didn't even have to lock our doors. So like, you know, my kids kind of grew up in a similar small town.
Yeah.
So we learned that she met him in 2011 in a Christian group. He friends her on Facebook. She thinks it's harmless, but then he starts like asking her out and, you know, just barraging her with messages and Bible verses and da-da-da-da-da. And at one point he tells her, I just saw red and beat the shit out of somebody. And she's like, okay, now I know this guy's obsessed with me and he's violent. So we meet Norman Hayes, and he is, I love this guy. He is the judge who grants the personal protection order. And he's like, I've read this petition for this thing, and I gave him the longest I have ever given anyone. Yeah. And that was 6 years.
Yeah. And what year was this when this happens? In 2011?
2016. 2011 is when she meets him. 2014 or 2016 is when they apply for the ministry thing, and that's when she gets the...
Okay, so maybe I'm like, this is Me Too movement. Maybe he has daughters. Maybe he's understanding because he's the judge who actually makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like it is very interesting, and we'll get to it obviously, but like it is very interesting that this is the last time that she feels protected by the courts.
Yeah, and he says this guy was going to kill her or rape her. Like he knew that what was coming. Mm-hmm. So Christopher's kicked out of the ministry internship. Sam goes on with her life. She does that. She goes to grad school. She trains as a private practice therapist. She starts a blog. A woman named Sarah Ma is commenting. Immediately, I'm like, that's him.
Yep.
Yes, it does turn out to be him. Her mom and her grandmother pass away. She moves home because she said, when you lose all your people, sometimes you want to be in the place. And she is somebody who really seems to have a chosen family of friends around her.
Mm-hmm. And they seem pretty protective. And like, I mean, at least that one friend.
Oh, yeah.
The one friend, I was like, yeah, bitch, you better get her. You better get him.
One friend who's like, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Yeah. I like this girl.
Yeah, I like her.
So she buys a house, and I'm like, she is really adulting.
Hard. I mean, good for you, good sis. For her, yeah. Good for you.
She joins a soccer league, an adult rec soccer league, and the minute the PPO dries up or expires, Christopher joins the same league.
I mean, comes charging at her. and doesn't say anything to her.
And here's something that's very terrifying. One of her friends says he looked like he had been training for something.
Yeah, because he had lost a bunch of weight and
Was like
he looked
ripped.
different. Yeah. Yeah. That he had gone through some kind of transformation this entire 6 years where he kept silent. And it lulled her. It really lulled her.
Yeah, it was terrifying. And when they show you the difference in him, he's terrifying.
Yeah.
And friend Patrick, really angry, says this guy's a fucking creep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sam is starting to get a little freaked out by him, and she's like taking different routes to work. She's parking in different places, but she's seeing him more and more. He's turning up at the grocery store. He's turning up at the gym. And then at one point, he's like over at the gym, and you know guys like this. Like, I've only been at a gym a handful of times, clearly. But I've seen men like this who are wearing trash bags and stuff to like sweat. And he's like just running against all odds on this little treadmill with all these bags on him. So he's training.
Yeah, to chase her. Now, when she says that she was like, well, I guess we could be in the same grocery store, I was like, this must be some kind of internal defense mechanism. Something is happening chemically in her brain that takes a woman who has a master's degree in social work. And if somebody were to tell her this story, one of her kids, one of her patients, one of her people she supports, she would be like, hell no, absolutely, this is what you need to do to get out of it. And she wasn't able to do that for herself. And I think and then when we like deal with her friends, you know, it's like that saying, check in on your strong friends.
Yeah.
Because there's a part of me that feels like the friends didn't do enough because she wasn't reacting in the way that they thought surely she would react, because she's awesome Samantha, who's like came from nothing and built up her life and is this awesome woman and
can handle anything, and she's
strong in her faith, can handle anything. And so like, you know, there is that moment I think where the friends are like, we knew something was up, but because she wasn't as freaked out, then we stood down. And didn't do everything that we could to kind of push this. And that's where you do need that extracurricular. You need a friend, you need a therapist, you need somebody to be like, hey, here's the mirror. And if you were on this side of the mirror, you would be hitting yourself and telling you to do, you know, certain things.
That's a really good point. Ever since I've had adult daughters, I've been able to say to myself, because I'm somebody who was never able to stand up for myself, never be able to get out of a bad relationship. I've been able to say, what would I tell my girls? Like, what would I tell them in this same situation? And that has really helped me. That's a really good point. So we see a lot of, throughout the episode, we see a lot of pictures that he took of her. I'm like, ooh, Jesus, this guy was following her for a long time. 2022, her friend Carissa comes to visit, and they go to this local pride show, and there he is. And Carissa's like, why is he here? He's not gay. I don't think he has friends in the community. Well, anybody can go to a pride event, I would just like to say. The more the merrier at the pride event, please. But not this guy. And she was creeped out, and I don't blame her.
Yep.
But Sam said, I'm not leaving. I'm sick of him running me out of places. Like, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to have a beer with my friend.
Yeah.
But the beer was real awkward. Like, they were sitting there clearly being watched, and so they left. They leave. They go back to their apartment, and he's there.
Yep.
And the friend freaks out and reads him for filth and screams at him in the street, as a good friend should.
Yeah, runs out of the house and is like, what the are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm drunk. And she's like, you're not. You're not drunk.
We saw you. You had one beer.
What are you talking about? And this is where the fisticuffs come in. This is where Samantha and her friend need to just beat him up. They call the police and be like, hey, I need the police to come here. This guy is stalking my friend. We are going to beat him up. Please come. Yeah. Please come and help him.
Yeah. At one point they're all out, and angry Patrick runs over and just confronts him, but he doesn't physically harm him, which I feel like this guy would have put a beat down on Patrick. So I'm glad that Patrick did not get involved.
But it would have been more fodder for her case. Take That's one true. For the team, Patrick.
It's true, Patrick. Take that beating.
Take that beating for the team.
So they realize that he's tracking them, and they spend the entire night like ripping her car apart, and they can't find the tracker. So they're like, okay, that's not happening. So then she decides to get another protection from abuse order. It's called a PFA here in Pennsylvania. They're calling it a PPO.
Yeah.
But she's denied because she doesn't have enough. And this made me really angry.
If you already have a prior PPO, why is that not in itself enough that the person now has shown up?
So I don't know what the law was at the time, but on the end screen of this documentary, it says that now it is required that courts consider and look at the past PPO. So I wonder if they didn't know that it was there, but she would have put it in her.
She did. She attached it, as well as then the verbiage was, oh, this seems like a relationship that is misunderstood or some shit. I was like, that sounded like some 1950s shit. That really sounded like some very old school white men protecting white men.
And then were you as angry as all hell when they try to make this judge some kind of hero in the end? And you're like, yeah, but she had to be raped first.
Yeah. Okay. And then he tried, like the documentary tried, but also he tried in court to make to exonerate himself for his past mistakes.
If I were her, I would have worked it into the victim statement.
Yeah. And it's also just like, it's really annoying how the court system is very not transparent, and that they can just say that there's a misunderstanding. So then it makes me think, like, because she did ask, once the restraining order is put out, does he have a voice in this? And they're like, no, he wouldn't know, or, there's no way that he could, whatever, you just have to present the evidence. And I'm like, why in the world, what would be the other side of the argument? If someone's saying, I don't want this person around me, we've never been in a relationship, or we don't have kids. Like, that's to be the only thing where I could see a judge being like, well, you have kids. Like,
you
I
have
don't know
to
that
make this work.
You have to make this work, or you have to prove that he's not just trying to get around come to his kids.
Yeah.
Anything outside of that is like, if I tell a court that I don't want this person to come near me anymore, I feel like they should honor that.
I agree with you. And the fact that the court is trying to cover their ass here by saying, well, she was offered a hearing. She did not want it. What are you not understanding about, I am terrified of this person and he is volatile and he is violent. And if I drag him into court and you deny it again, guess what?
Yes.
Because that's exactly what happened. He followed her to the courthouse when she filed the petition. He walked in, asked if it was filed. They told him yes, and he went and started building a bunker.
Yeah.
It's exactly what happened.
Yep.
Oh, it makes me so angry. Murder, She Watched will be right back after these messages. For ad-free episodes, please visit patreon.com/murdershewatched. Amanda.
Amy.
For our sponsor, Lumi Gummies, today, I have an idea. I think we should do a rapid fire bonus round. Which 90-day celebrity stars need a Lumi Gummy or have taken a Lumi Gummy, maybe?
Okay. Madeline.
Oh, I have her on my list too. Manon. Manon could really use indica.
Yeah, to calm her the fuck down.
Calm down a little bit.
I think Jenny could use a sativa to maybe up the energy a little bit, because there's none there.
Funny you mentioned Jenny. I have Sumit's aunt can use one to
definitely
chill out a little bit.
She definitely could use one. This is a wild card. Florian could use one. I don't know what variety.
Yeah,
but
maybe
I feel
he
like
needs a hybrid.
I feel like Florian on a gummy would be good.
Yeah. I also have Dylan's mom from Dylan and Patia.
Yeah.
And I have Luke's dad of Luke and Madeline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we can use Lumi Gummies as well.
Yes.
Yes.
All the time.
Consistent, mellow, and super delicious, Lumi Gummies are specifically designed to make you feel good, not stoned. Whether you're looking for an end-of-the-day de-stressor, a midday mood boost, or help getting the best sleep ever, Lumi Gummies has a strain that's right for you. So, Amanda, our flavor that we like a lot in this home is the sour strawberry cookie hybrid.
Ooh, is it particularly sour?
It's not super sour because I don't like sour things.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I just find that it's the perfect blend of up and down. It's right in the middle.
Nice.
But you feel good. I really like it.
I'm a hybrid girly myself, and I'm going to go with the watermelon sorbet because I do enjoy watermelon, and it's just a nice, cool, chill evening of watching TV.
You know what I need to do? I need to take one before Sister Wives comes out.
Yes.
Before I
Yes.
meet my arch nemesis
Yes.
in the ring.
Yes. I think it would help you a great deal. I think it would help Cody Brown a great deal.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, Lumi gummies are available nationwide. Go to lumigummies.com. That's LUMI gummies.com. Use code Little Miss Recap for 30% off your order. That is Lumi Gummies, LUMI gummies.com. Code Little Miss Recap. Lumis.com. Code Little Miss Recap. It's 30%. And the link is in the show notes if you guys need it.
Shopify's point of sale system helps you sell at every stage of your business. Need a fast and secure way to take payments in person? We've got you covered. How about card readers you can rely on anywhere you sell?
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yep, that too. Want one place to manage all your online and in-person sales? That's kind of our thing. Wherever you sell, businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/listen. Shopify.com/listen.
So October 7th, 2022, Sam awakens to a noise. She reaches for the hatchet has under her bed, but before she can even get it, he is on top of her.
Yeah.
He's choking her. She recognizes immediately that it's him. He claims he just wants to talk to her, but she is smart enough to understand, don't go the second location, right? We all learned it from Oprah as young girls. So she's trying to stall him. She's like, well, I need my clothes. I need this. I need that. So he tapes her, puts a ball gag in her mouth, binds her up. He drives her to a storage unit that he has spent weeks building into a soundproof bunker that he has modeled after the show You. Wow. There's restraint hooks on the walls. This is terrifying. Terrifying.
It is. And I love that he's like, oh yeah, the reason why it's not glass like you is because I realized that that's not feasible. It's not, you could break it. I couldn't get I couldn't get thick enough plexiglass. It was too heavy to carry on my own. Like I had to carry all my lumber by myself. Like it's just like
what is going on in storage unit facilities?
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Where like they have this guy on camera, they see him, right? He's there all the time, carrying big, heavy, like, you know, drywall and plywood and like, what do they think he's doing?
That, and I'm like, there has to be a clause where you're like, hey, you know, just because people are weird, if you carry so much lumber and cement and different things into your storage unit, we check it.
Yeah.
We check it to make sure that you're not going to harbor a person in here for years.
And you can't live in your storage unit. So if we see you there for more than 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
Guess what? We're going to have to start charging you rent, which is like, you know, a lot more.
Yeah.
It's so weird. So, you know, they're in this bunker now and she's trying to talk to him. And there's a bucket. So she has to pee and poop in a bucket. And he's like, we could just play cards and we could talk. And he has told her that he has taken off 2 weeks to be with her. And I'm sure what's going through her mind is, A, is he going to murder me? And B, is he going to torture me and rape me the entire 2 weeks?
Yeah. And definitely rape. Like
I
the whole time I was like, oh, you just have to kill me. Like, I think the whole time I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know that I would. I don't know. I've never been in a life or death situation where I had to like really fend for my life. But I think if somebody had been tormenting me as long as he'd been tormenting me, that I don't know that I would have been as strong as she was. I would have just given up, and I would just be like, you're gonna have to kill me, sir, because like I cannot put up with you anymore. Imagine she gets out and then they still don't do anything about it. I honestly thought that was the way it was gonna go for a little bit. That she gets out and somehow he was gonna wiggle out of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she tries to talk to him because she's like, I'm a social worker. I think her training saved her here.
Yeah, it really did.
Because she's like, I'm a social worker. I know exactly how to do this. So she starts talking to him. This is where he tells her, like, you know, the show You was my inspiration. #goals, Joe Goldberg. Okay. She quickly realizes she's going to have to be nice to him and pretend to give him some kind of chance. This made my skin crawl.
Yeah, it really did, because I felt that survival instinct in her was strong. I think that she did. I was actually shocked at the outcome of her being nice with him and doing all these talking to him and laughing at his jokes and like, really trying to get him to be comfortable to have like a real conversation, because she realized that he's not rational. And she can't talk to him from a rational perspective. But what she did hear him say is that he would never survive in prison. And so she was like, I can use that. And so it'll be like, hey, Chris, like, not girl. Because I'm used to talking to Chris Farah. So I was like, like, hey, Chris, friend, just so you know, I won't tell anybody if you let me out, because I don't want you to go to prison either. Like, the truth is that like, as much as, you've scared me for much of our relationship, I realize now that when you weren't around, I did kind of miss you. So if you let me out, if this, you let me out, then, and she was like, I can't have sex with this individual. I cannot do it. Not going to do it. Yeah. And so that was her first hard line. But then when she realized that was his hard line, she was just like, I'm going to have sex with him in order for him to.
Could you imagine?
I don't know how girls aren't just like the whole time because this is not the first instance of something like this I've heard where a woman has just allowed something to happen because it's a means to an end. How you're not like the whole time.
She said she was crying and shaking the entire time.
Yeah. And then he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like,
well, she's like, okay, I have to be nice to him. I have to do this. And he says, the only way I will trust you to not call the police is if you have sex with me. And then she's like, okay, well, how long can this be? Like, and he's like, oh, by the way, I masturbate 12 times a day. Yeah. So it might take me a while. And then she just says, quote, direct quote, this act goes on for quite some time.
Yes.
And I'm like, what that poor woman had to endure. And there are women all over this. There are people all over this country who have to endure this constantly.
Yeah. And they have to just go dead and numb inside the way that she did in order to get out of it. And I'm like, the moment where he actually fulfilled his promise and she patiently got through it. I do love that, after he abducted her, she was trying to do like the, I don't know, there's a movie where you are supposed to pay attention to the turns you take and pay attention to any details you can before you get put in the car. Yes. But part of the thing that he did is he put her in her own car. Yes. Then drove them somewhere. And then switched cars, or then got her to the unit, drove her car to the unit. And then he had this plan about how he was going to put her boogie board or her canoe paddleboard and make people think that she drowned. And I'm like, there's no way. If I were her, like in that moment, I would have said, in that moment while I was watching it, I would have been like, Chris, all my friends know you've been stalking me.
Yeah, like what an idiot.
Yeah, I went to sleep last night and I said goodbye to my friend, and I didn't tell anybody that I was going to go on Lake Michigan and do anything with a paddleboard. Right. So I don't know why you think that I would just be out of character and do something like that, and they wouldn't immediately come to you. They're gonna come to you because
they're gonna come to you, and they're gonna see you coming in and out of a storage unit. 15 times.
Yes. So I just imagine how terrified she had to be be like, okay, we got in the car, I made a left, we made a right. Then we did this and he stooped down, he took me out. Okay. So then we to be able to chart all of that, to recollect it as much as she did, to be able to now come on this show and do this documentary a year and a half or a year after is like, yeah.
Well, and then one of the scariest parts is she gets home, and so she convinces him to let her leave. And he drives her to her car, and there's CCTV footage of all of this, which I don't know if you feel this way, but I always feel like CCTV footage is so terrifying to me. Like, there's a show called See No Evil. I don't know if you ever saw it, but it's like crimes that they solve through CCTV. Oh. So you will see like the actual murderer walking, and it just gives it a creepy feel to it that like heightens your fear. So like they have CCTV footage, and when I saw her hug him, he must have demanded that hug.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh God, please don't play that in court, because this idiot judge will be like, well, she hugged him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was really afraid of that.
The idiot jurors.
Yeah, I was really afraid of that.
When they talk about not being able to put things in the hands of the jurors because of the way that information is given to them and it sways things. Like it makes me question it makes me question the judicial system in the fact that why do we have jurors and why don't we just have a panel of judges? Why don't we have a panel of people who can hear the whole story? Because I hate when they do that. Oh, juror will ignore that. No, don't ignore it.
Yes.
Why are we ignoring that? Like, why are lawyers able to admit certain things that specifically speak to the character of the person?
So complicated.
Yes. And why are lawyers, and I get what the job of lawyering is, I think get what that job is, but for them to be able to just like dismantle a witness who says that they were raped or something like that. And I try to think of the other side of it. But I think that in any case, you can still provide information and data and facts without besmirching someone's experience or like, breaking them down to where you have a panel of jury who's like, I don't believe that this happened to her.
Yeah, we see so many cases where big things are left out. Like I'm thinking about the Menendez case. Like they were not allowed to argue self-defense.
Yeah.
And whether you feel one way or not, that was what they claimed. So why would you not be able to argue that?
Yeah.
And then the yogurt shop murders that we just did, like there was stuff in there that they were not allowed in and it would have helped the defense. And it's like, you should be allowed, if you are being convicted of a crime,
yes,
or trying to convict someone of a crime, to throw whatever you need to.
Yeah.
As long as it's relevant.
As long as it's relevant and you can prove it happened.
Yeah.
And that a lot of times they can prove it happened, but they're like, this no. Like, what?
Yeah, like a good example of this is Michael Peterson, The Staircase. Are you familiar with The Staircase? So
I was going to say The Staircase.
Yeah, so we're covering that for the first time. I've never watched it before on Patreon on this show. And she was not his first wife. It was his first wife's friend.
Yes.
Ended up dead at the bottom of a staircase. I feel like that's relevant.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Relevant.
Like, did he do it? We don't know. But like two women dying the same way around the same person.
Yeah.
I think the jury deserves to hear it.
To hear it and know. Yeah. And then if the other side has a rebuttal of like, yes, it did happen and it's unfortunate it happened, he's got slippery stairs, but here's the other bit of information why we think you should redact this or whatever.
Because then David could come in. Rudolph can come in and say, well, that was ruled an accident and the authorities looked at it and da-da-da. Okay, fine, solved. Like whatever the jurors want to take from that, they take from it. Yeah. I agree with you.
It's interesting because I work for a corporation a large company that does investigations. Sometimes there are parallels and sometimes there are not parallels. Because at the end of the day, we're going to do what we can to defend the company. And that is letting go of the person who may or may not have done something. And I understand that in the court system, you're messing with people's lives. It's not just their livelihoods or their whatever. You're actually messing with their like freedom. And so you can't just kind of like, just on the off chance that you did rape this person, just put them in jail based on that, based on an accusation. You can't do that. But it's also just this idea. What is this insidious idea that the person who says that they were assaulted is lying? Right. Where does that come from? What? How many cases have there been, and how many situations have there been? Now, if we're saying, in the South during Jim Crow, black men and white women. There's a precedent for that being not true and things happening. But like outside of certain specific situations, when a person says that they are sexually assaulted or have been sexually assaulted, why is it that the benefit of the doubt like goes to the person who is being charged with the thing? I don't know. It's a tricky situation and I don't have an answer to it, but I just wish that it were better.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. So, the scariest part of this is she gets home and she realizes like he is tracking me. He knows exactly where I am. And so like she has to get to the hospital. So she has to call like a random neighbor and just be like, here. And if I were her, I'd be nervous. He had a tracker somewhere on me. Yeah. Like, is there one in my purse? I don't know. Like he seems to know where she is all the time, even if she's in friends' cars. But she does get to the hospital and she says the entire time I'm driving in the car, I'm looking over my shoulder thinking he may have changed his mind. Like, could you imagine? She probably never would sleep again if he was not in jail. Yeah. And she goes in and she asks for a rape kit. And I'm really glad that she did that. And she made it very clear that this was rape.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
I was sort of afraid of that as well. Like,
Yeah.
are we going to try to frame this as some kind of weird consent? Because it was
Yes.
not consent.
Yeah. I also didn't like the way that law enforcement couldn't stop themselves from behaving like they didn't believe it initially. Every single person, not every, but two of the people, the first officer who heard the story was like, what? This can't be real. And then goes and checks it out. And then she provides a lot of detail. And I'm like, why do you think it can't be real? Because she actually got away?
The one cop that was good, I don't know, I don't think it's the same one you're talking about, that Mike Matucci, who was like, the minute I started talking to her, I knew.
Yes, but
she was true.
initially, when he got the call.
Yeah, you're right.
I was like, why would you tell documentarians this?
Yeah, you're
Because
right.
here's the truth. Like, when people come up to me, because I am an investigator in my company too, and certain things, like, my initial thing is to believe them, and I do, so that I come from a place of belief when I start it. And then usually, and this is why I know that they feel this way, it starts to unravel. And I'm starting to, then I start to realize that the person who came to me and told me this thing has added things or omitted things to make their case seem more viable.
Okay, yeah.
But that being said, I still come at everything with, I believe you.
I do too. I'm especially, if a woman in my presence or on our screen or whatever says she was abused, I believe women, period, full stop.
Yeah.
Until I have a reason not to.
Yes.
And this woman, I mean, she's an incredible young woman, Samantha.
Yeah.
And the cop who was questioning her, once he believed her and got there, was like, she had so much detail. She was one of the most believable victims I've ever come across. How'd you feel about that wording?
I was like, again, like, do you have people who lie? Like, tell me the statistics in your line where you feel like, oh, I can see that somebody's, because I was worried that what he was going to do is like, she recalled too much, and people who are victims usually can't recall anything.
Yeah.
Because that is, that is one side of victimhood, is that you just start to block things out. And so because she's a professional and trained, she was able to be like, hooks on the wall, this color, that color.
Yeah.
She had started inventorying details of what was going on so that she could provide that feedback. And I think the great thing about it is that she had been like, he also chemically burned himself trying to remove hair from his body.
That
I was like, yes,
diabolical.
bitch. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, because that's the thing that's going to help you. Unfortunately, because, it's he said, she said, but I'm like, the moment that they see this elaborately built space,
he's done.
Yeah, that he's done, but they really needed it. They needed it to be so tight that they didn't go to the jury, because the jury then is where everybody can get fucked up.
Yeah. You need that on a t-shirt. Wow. The jury is where everyone gets fucked up.
Yeah.
So she goes and she stays with a friend while the investigation is beginning, and they get search warrants for everything. The bunker, the telephone. Patrick, the friend, still angry. He's like, I should have fucking killed that guy.
Yeah, you're right. You should have.
The bunker's horrifying. This is where I wrote, why are we allowing people to hang out in their storage units?
Yeah.
Feels weird. They arrest him in his car. And with Christopher in custody, Samantha can return home, and she says for the first time almost ever, she can relax. Like, for at least the last 13 years.
Jeez Louise.
It's crazy, because even with the PPO, like, I think a lot of people think a protection from abuse order is going to protect you at all costs. No. Mm-mm.
I don't think it does. I don't think it actually does. I think what it does is it puts documentation in place
to
show
starts the process.
Yeah, to show that you are fearful of this person.
Agreed. Murder, She Watched will be right back after these messages. For ad-free episodes, please visit patreon.com/murdershewatched. So Sam walks in her house, and I had forgotten all about this too. She's like, this was a crime scene. This is where he took me. And the fingerprint dust was all over, and it makes like a paste when it's wet. So it was like...
And they leave your house crazy. They don't try to fix this shit up. Like, that's just for those of you out there, I don't know, you guys are probably all avid like murder people, murder mystery people.
We are couch detectives, yes.
Couch detectives, but they do not clean your house up after anything.
No.
You have to yourself on your dime hire people to come in and do things. And so it's a good thing that there was no blood anywhere and that there was no like whatever it was, you know, but even then when they search your home, they will turn your shit upside down and not even think of putting anything back.
Yeah, they did that to Gilgo Beach, the Gilgo Beach killer. They searched his house and like trashed it and left it. And the wife's out like screaming at the news cameras that she wants her house put back. It's like, well, your husband's a serial killer, so there's a problem.
She's like, I didn't do it though.
Right.
Why do I have to clean this up?
So when they said that he tried to burn his hair off his body, I was like, he was probably going to kill her. Do you think?
I don't know. I knew that it was I think that he thought of it as a possibility, but I don't think he wanted to kill her. You know, it's funny because like when they talk about him and all the things that he did and they're like, he's the devil. They use some kind of like archaic nonsense word to describe him. And I was like, because I no longer believe in the religious and that like pure evil and like whatnot, I was like, no, I don't think that he is. I think that he is a disturbed person for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he's coming from this place of like malicious intent. From the actor's perspective of thinking that people who do things are trying to get a goal and think that they're right, maybe he did just want to talk to her. It's a crazy way to do it. And it's not normal and it's not whatever, but it's like this idea that like people have to exhibit just pure evil intent is the wrong way to look at it. I think
that's interesting because I wonder, would he have, and this is, I'm going to get dark for a minute, guys. Let's skip ahead if you want, but I wonder, like, would he have raped her if she had not fake consented? Do you know what I mean?
See, and that's what I don't know. It felt like he was just going to wait it out with her.
I don't know. I don't know.
This
guy's a loose cannon, man.
Yeah. It felt like he was just going to wait her out because he was so adamant that he did not rape her and that it was consensual. And I could see somebody who is in that state of mind being like, I gave her my ultimatum and I told her we kept our side of the bargain. Like,
right. He doesn't see the coercion.
He doesn't see the coercion.
He doesn't understand it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we hear jailhouse calls with his parents and he's telling his mom everything that happened. And he's like, you know, that day was kind and loved. And you're right. He's delusional. He's delusional.
Yeah.
And they charge the shit out of him. And he pleads not guilty. And it takes them a long time to find the trackers on the car, but they do find them. And they're on all the friends' cars too.
Yeah. And I'm like, did he get charged for 18 counts of stalking for them too?
Yeah. And they're the kind of trackers that you have to change the batteries.
Yes. This man's been at their house, like changing the batteries and shit. Like, I mean, and his mother's like, I should have just let you stay with me. That would have done it. He's like, no, mom, girl, like, I've been crazy. And I'm like, mom knew. You saw the moment he was obsessed with anything that there could be a problem with this.
Well, and that's why I'm wondering if he's a bit of an incel. You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of incel behavior.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Now, incel behavior being that, like, involuntary celibacy.
Like obsessive.
Yeah,
it's the obsessiveness and the anger and the I want something and why can't I have it?
Yes.
You know, it kind of had that feel to it.
It's like a psychosis or something because you know, the judges was like, you have an MBA. And I was like, sir, if you don't stop listing his credentials, like that's supposed to do some shit.
It was a good point, though. I'll get there. Hold on.
Okay.
So they dig into this guy's past, and they find he had done this to someone else, someone named Kelly. He had been arrested for harassment and stalking, but he's quick to point out it was nonviolent. And Kelly says, you know, she met Christopher at work in 2009. He starts asking me out. I'm polite, because that's what women have to do. And he wasn't taking it. So then she got a PPO. And then he violated that. So she pressed charges and he went to jail for a few days and then he went on probation. And I will say this is a guy who seems to be obeying these PPOs. Yeah. Which does tell me maybe he wouldn't have killed her. Do you know what I mean? Like I I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a part of him that isn't like, it isn't full psychosis or full whatever. Like he's like, you know, it's he's not dead inside. He's just as obsessive to a crazy ass fault.
Yes.
And I think he knew when he was building the bunker that it was wrong. And he knew when he was doing all these things that it was wrong. And to me, it sounded like it was like a contingency plan if she didn't eventually accept him. And I felt like he finally was just like, I have to kidnap her to talk to her.
Yeah, it's just, and I want to make it very clear, like, we're not defending him.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
We're trying to say, like, because I'm wrestling with, is this a situation where he's going to kill her?
Yeah.
And that's, in some weird way, this is a guy who colors inside the lines. So, like, I don't know if he would have.
Yeah. So the thing that I'm trying to rationalize or like trying to talk through is that we have some people, again, in our society, because we don't do enough research as a society about certain mental health illnesses and like even like with psychopaths, like it's done from a crime or a FBI perspective for the most part, a profile perspective, whereas like how do we rehabilitate or at least mark people who have these traits from when they're children? What do parents do when they realize that they have a child who's killing cats and obviously does not respect life because they don't think that life is real and they're the only real people moving through the earth? How, like, there's no resources because we don't as a society, and I think this goes globally, as a human race, we haven't evolved yet to really like delve into some of the mental health issues that people are roaming this earth with. And then we just want to call them evil. And it's like, no, if we can just practically try to fix this behavior, and if we can't fix it, then we can't. But we have to try as a society because we've signed up to be social people.
Yeah.
That we have to rehabilitate these people. Otherwise, we need to figure out a way to stomp out that gene or figure out how that can be rectified, because people will continuously be hurt if we don't.
Well, and what does it say about me? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
What does it say about me that I was like, at the end of this could have gone a lot worse?
Yeah.
I mean,
because
poor Sam had to endure being raped and kidnapped and stalked, and yet it still could have been worse.
Yes. Yes, she could have lost her life. He could have tortured, like literally tortured her physically, where he's like cutting her and like harming her. And like, I mean, not to say she didn't do that, but he didn't do that because he did. But like, it
just could have been worse.
It could have been worse. And it could have been like that the people who, the prosecutor could have been shitty. Her lawyer could have been bad. Like she's lucky that she got a really good group of people, because for all of the Sams, there are other women and other people who do not get that kind of like law enforcement or community to rally and make 100%. Sure that this person goes to jail.
100%. So the judge is the same judge who denied the PPO, and he's back for his redemption arc.
I didn't know where this was going.
So Christopher takes a plea deal. He pleads guilty to kidnapping, torture, and stalking. And she reads a victim impact statement, which is on her Instagram. And I recommend reading it. It's really powerful. I read the whole thing, but it's way too long to read here. And Christopher seems to have some sort of breakthrough with this statement. And he changes his mind about reading his little 3-page manifesto that he had typed up or written in crayon or whatever. And instead he apologizes. So the judge brings in like, you're MBA educated, you're this, you're that. And I think he does that to say, you knew the consequences. Like, don't play dumb with me. You knew what would happen. You are an intelligent, reasonable adult. Well, I don't know about reasonable, but you're an intelligent adult. You were arrested. You knew what would happen. You did it anyway. And that tells me that you are more dangerous than we even know. And he sentences him to 40 to 60 years.
Yeah. And he's not going to get out until he's like 80.
Yeah. That's a good sentence.
And he did it only because he fucked up.
I think so too.
Yeah, and I was really worried about how this judge was going to like do. Was he going to double down, or was he going to try to rectify the situation?
He owed her one. He owed her one.
He did.
Yeah.
And and also there is like this idea that Chris, even though he does have his master's or whatever, and that she said that he felt like he recognized that his fault. Part of me didn't even believe that. Part of me felt like this was him acting, or him like because. And or maybe him recognizing is why the 6 year why it took so long, because he does color within the lines, and there is parts of rational issues. Maybe he's just like super terrible impulse control.
Everything in Christopher's world is a fantasy.
Yeah,
like he has this whole. He is the main player in this fantasy.
No shame.
And in his world, Sam is the perfect girl for him. God ordained it, and she needs to be with him. And you know, him showing up is his way of showing her he loves her. He's invested in it. Like, everything is manufactured in his world.
Yeah.
Nothing is, he has no tether on reality.
None.
To reality.
None. And to me, the fact that all of her friends, or a lot of her friends, had confronted him, and that he knew who they were to be able to watch them, it shows just like how much of the building that he had done. Like,
yeah. He was world building. Yeah. Exactly right. Yeah. And when she read that victim impact statement, something clicked in there. Or you're right. Or he just was performing. Oh, I hurt the woman I love. You know, I need to Oof, I hate this guy. Yeah. So at the end, we learn 1 in 3 women will be stalked in their lifetime. That's a terrifying statistic.
That's crazy.
And there has been a legal change because of this case, or after this case, where courts must obtain and examine their prior PPOs. So that's it. That's where we end. And I'm glad this guy's fucking behind bars, because he's terrifying.
Yeah, I'm glad too.
And her, I mean, she is unbelievable. Yeah. I'm in awe of this woman.
Yeah, I'm very much like, I'm like, did you sell the house, girl? Because I don't know that I
know if she sold the house.
I can't live there no more. I
think she did.
I need all the security I can get. Okay, I want motion sensor detectors. I need backup cloud space. I need somebody to even not only do I need backup cloud space, I'm gonna need somebody daily to check my cameras and tell me what they seen or saw, and give me a report daily. I saw nothing today. Thank you.
I remember after the Me Too movement started, I want to say, and I'm going to attribute this to Stephen Colbert, and I don't know if Colbert said it or if it was just somebody on his show who said it, okay? So it's adjacent to Stephen Colbert. Somebody was talking about how women are trained that if an elevator door opens and there's a menacing person in there that you're afraid of, out of politeness, you will get in the elevator with the person you are afraid of.
Oh, hell no.
And I think about that a lot, because as a young woman, I would have. Now I wouldn't. But as a young woman, 19, 20, 21 years old, the age of Sam, I absolutely would have gotten in an elevator, even if I was uneasy about who was in it.
I feel like at that age, I would not. There was a lot I didn't trust about myself, and it had nothing to do with like being a woman. It just had everything to do with my familial conditioning, that I didn't trust that I was right, because I had been told so often by family that I was wrong. And so it took me a long time to trust my own instincts. But it wasn't even just about like stranger danger. It was about a lot of things. Yeah. And so, but I think one of the things that my dad kind of instilled with me is that you don't trust men. He's like, don't trust them. Don't court them. Don't trust them. Like, you know, and don't put and this is the, not respectability politics, but this is this old school boomer thinking of don't put yourself in situations where things can happen to you. And so the don't put yourself in situations is something that I have done throughout my life, where I'm like, Mayday, Mayday. Interesting. That seems like a situation where something could happen to me. I'm not going to put myself in it because my dad told me not to. And whether or not that attributes to a lot of rape culture, whether or not that attributes to me being like, even now, I mean, I didn't drink prior to, but now I am scared to drink in public. Because I'm worried about putting myself in a situation.
Yeah, no.
Because of the external threats that are all around me. We shouldn't have to do that, but it's a survival mechanism.
I teach that to my daughters. So I talk a lot with my daughters about risk behavior. high risk behavior. You know, walking down an alley by yourself, doing this, like that's all high risk behavior, which is the same thing, right? Not putting yourself in situations.
Yeah.
Somehow I never got that lesson from my parents.
Oh,
my parents were very young parents. My mother was 17 when she had my sister, 19 when she had me, and my dad was only 2 years older than her. And I think there was, and they were born in 56 and 54, so they're like middle boomers. But I think they were just naive.
Yeah.
You know, they grew up in a very safe, sanitized life. Like they didn't have money. They were poor, both families, but they just didn't have, like it was, bad things didn't happen to them. And I don't think they understood. And they lived in a very homogeneous area.
Yeah.
Everybody looked and sounded like them. So like my sister and I go out into the world and like I'm drinking in an apartment with the guy when I'm 21. He's got a gun. I'm like 15. He's 21.
Yeah.
I don't even think I shouldn't be in this apartment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I missed that lesson somewhere.
No, so my parents are 48 and 52. That's what the years they were born. So they're a little older than your parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they didn't have us until they were in their 30s.
So they lived life.
Yes, and they had been married for 6 years before I was born.
Okay.
And so, like, even though mistakes were made, I had grown ass parents.
Sure.
Okay, a lot of ridiculous mistakes were made. There was still this. My dad was like, "Do not put yourself in these situations. Like, you need to be able to be aware of your surroundings to know." And now there have been times where I have looked up and I'm like, "I should not be here," and I'm like, "I gotta go." Yeah.
Sure.
And I've like,
but
I've
you recognized it.
But I recognized it because there was always that sense. My mother would never talk to me about anything except for do not let someone touch your private area. And if someone touches your private area, you need to tell me. And it was, but even the idea of don't let them is like you are still the person who is in control of that. And if you do let them, then you've allowed it to happen.
Oh, that's
and so
interesting.
I think that if I had been sexually assaulted and I didn't as a child, that I would have been like, oh, I let this happen. And that would have been detrimental. But I recognize now that there are people in my life who've never even had the don't let anybody touch your private area conversation.
I will tell you that I did not. And I was sexually assaulted when I was 12 by a boy who was my age. And I was so terrified to even tell my parents because I thought it was my fault.
Yeah.
That's a whole, like, for
That's
years and
thing.
years and years and years.
Yeah.
And I look back on it now and I'm like, I would never, like, my daughters know that would never be their fault and that they would come to me immediately. And I'm not saying my parents thought that because once I told them, they were wonderful.
Yeah.
But it was like, I don't know, we just didn't have those talks.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that I think that I can honestly attribute to my mom of being like, don't let anybody touch your private area. And I think it's because they had anecdotally had situations where people in the family were lechers and men were doing things to girls. And, you know, it wasn't as clean and clear. And so they, you know, they were like, hey, don't do this, don't do that, because this could happen. And, you know, I've had conversations with my dad since then about it, and since rape culture and all that has come out, and and he's like, that's why I always told you.
Good
and
job, Dad.
I know that they both didn't know how to do it, but they were just like, and one thing I think I was scared of is that if someone did do it to me, that my dad would go to jail because my dad would kill them.
Yeah.
And so that's another layer of why I didn't do it. Not only because I didn't want it to happen to me, but I didn't want to have to go tell my dad, and then my dad go kill that person, and then my dad in jail.
That happened to Maya Angelou. Her uncles killed her abuser, and that's why
and
she
they went to
didn't
jail.
talk.
That's why she didn't talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I was like, girl, I understand why the cage bird sings. Like, I understand that, because it was always my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Of like, and my older cousins were like that too. They're like, don't ever tell us somebody did something to you unless you want them dead. And I was like, well,
yeah. No, that's why this woman, Samantha, really impressed me, because when she came out of this situation, she easily could have just slunk away, but she like went to the hospital. She said, I was raped. I want a rape kit. I'm calling the police. Like, she really, and I was thrilled because, you know, and even by sharing her story, because she does a lot of advocacy work now around this, obviously. By sharing her story, like, even me, I'm seeing this like, oh, I have to have this conversation with my girls about being nice to people. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not being nice to people when it's, you know, uncalled for.
There needs to be a Lifetime television. Like, I used to watch a lot of Lifetime television for women, and I learned a lot of life lessons.
Taught us a lot of things.
A lot of things.
I watched soap operas. It taught me a lot. All right. Well, thank you so much for going on this journey with me.
Yes, no problem.
Would you like to tell everyone where they can find you?
So many places. So you can find me at Just Call Me Wah on all social medias. You can find me on TikTok, on Instagram, and yeah, those are Facebook. Yeah, I'm like, those are the main ones. Facebook. I am doing drag, so if you want to see my drag journey, you can follow me at Black Renaissance. That is BLKRENESAUNCE, and I do have a podcast called Docu Sweeties, so you could check that out as well.
I love it. And what are you covering on your YouTube channel?
So on my YouTube channel, I am doing the 90 Day Fiance the other way. I am doing Life After Lockup. I will be doing Seeking Sister Wives, and Love is Blind whenever that comes back out. And that's it. So
it's a lot, girl.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. You'll be busy.
I'm busy, but yeah, come and check me out because I like to talk about shows.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'll put your links in our show notes.
Thank you.
So thank you. This has been so fun. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a dope time.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And if you want to support the pod, please consider leaving a 5-star review. And if you want bonus content, you can sign up in the show links or in the show notes as well. It's at patreon.com/Murder She Watched, or if you're on Apple subscriptions, you just hit the subscribe button and you'll listen to Becca and I talking about the staircase. All right, thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.